What's up, you nerds? Welcome back to Yellow Spandex. This week we talked about all kinds of random nerdness. You guys got anything to say?
I'm still trying to recover from the Mandela Effect. It's the first time it's actually affected me this much.
That's right.
Stay tuned for that.
Emotional. Also, a cool commercial, a Gatorade commercial, and a bunch of nonsense about...
We tried talking about The Boys that's coming out, this Amazon movie. So that's the core of it.
Yeah.
And then things just kind of like splayed out from there.
That's right. Coming at ya.
The special effects look amazing, though. I mean, like, this is a freaking Amazon Prime show.
Dude, they got the money.
Dude, Amazon, they have a huge production budgets now because they have product behind all their stuff.
Wow.
You know, like...
Well, they just play some of their products in the video.
No, I'm saying they have a lot of money from like physical retail.
That'd be funny, though. Like, if they did, and like you just hovered over the screen, and it's like, bling, and it shows
Probably
up
not.
Amazon link.
It's probably not far off.
Yo, that'd be so annoying.
Because like they have that money coming in from like actual retail stuff. Because other like Netflix and all this stuff, they have to have like investment capital coming in. So this one's like, you know, it's like if Walmart decided to make a movie, they could. That's just like a tax write-off.
I mean, they're already doing it online. Basically, that's like your commercial breaks. You can interact with the commercials now. You know.
Did you ever watch Mac and Me?
Yeah, the McDonald's.
Yeah, it's the McDonald's movie. In fact, but it wasn't McDonald's. It was like produced by the food company that supports McDonald's or
Well,
whatever.
I think McDonald's made a production company just to make that movie.
Yeah.
I think like Coca-Cola was an investor. Because wasn't Coca-Cola like their lifeblood?
I don't know.
Like they would put we should talk about this on camera.
Well, I mean, I got it rolling already. I mean, and
Okay.
the volume's already recording. So, hi guys, we're already
Hey,
talking.
what's up? Talk about Mac and Me. Yeah, I remember the thing I remember from Mac and Me because my dad worked at McDonald's my entire childhood, and so we definitely saw it because he probably got comped or something. But before the family got kidnapped by that weird like suctioning machine thing, that was like at the time the world's most innovative special effects, and now it's like the words like a YouTuber could do it. Like
Kind of creepy when you were a kid, though.
yeah, but
I don't remember this movie.
before they like
Oh.
before they got sucked up into that machine. They would like stick straws into like the ground of the planet they lived on, and the core of the planet was made of Coca-Cola. And so they would drink it. And so when they got to Earth, they're all like dying. And then they discover like, oh, we have to give these aliens Coca-Cola because it's the only thing they survive off of.
That's why they look so weird all the time with their mouths.
Yeah,
like,
like, and it was terrifying. But I think at the time their market research was like, this is adorable. Like,
I do remember this movie now.
and I like, you know, thinking like as a kid, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Coca-Cola saves their lives.
oh gosh, here, hold on, we'll play it real quick. Just the quick Mac and Me trailer.
What year was this?
Oh my gosh,
Sometime in the
what does it say? 88.
88. That sounds about right.
It's totally
Holy
like a commercial
crap.
for McDonald's host.
I totally
yeah.
remember this.
Because McDonald's like in the middle of it, like you see Ronald, like it's the first time Ronald's ever in like a movie.
And I think one of their favorite foods is like they always stop at McDonald's to eat.
My brother used to love this movie and would watch it all the time when we go over to my grandparents' house. I'd watch Short Circuit, and I love that.
I love Short Circuit.
Yeah.
But he loved this stupid movie. I have no idea why.
I mean, when you look back, if you watch it now, I guarantee you it's like hilarious for different reasons. Because there's a scene where they throw the kid in a wheelchair off a cliff, and it's clearly a dummy.
Yes.
Like you look at it, it's like, ah.
Did you know that like every time that Paul Rudd goes on Conan O'Brien, he plays that clip? For
Oh,
the
really? I
movie?
didn't know that.
Dude, for the last 20 years.
That's so funny.
He's like, oh yeah, this is my new movie, Avengers. He did it for Ant-Man. He's like, oh, Ant-Man, yeah, whatever. He's like,
I mean, it's essentially the same plot line.
he's like, watch this, and he plays the exact same clip.
That's so funny.
And he plays the clip of the kid falling off the.
Remember when movies were like this?
It looks a lot like Joan Cusack if it's not Joan Cusack.
Like, this reminds me of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
It was totally
production.
Look at
It's totally a
it's like
dummy,
clearly
yeah.
a dummy. Because he's like,
And it came off that like E.T. era.
oh yeah.
E.T. was what, 84?
Oh, it's got to be at least.
Orion.
Oh, Alan Silvestri did the songs. Wow.
Orion Pictures. Everyone, all these like crazy movies
Wait,
came out.
does that say Runaway Wheelchair? Can we skip to that clip where he falls off the cliff?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it's this is the clip that Paul Rudd shows every single time he's on Conan.
Also, apparently now it's on Blu-ray because we need it in high def.
Exactly. Dude, I'm sure you couldn't get any better than the VHS my grandma had.
Yeah.
But when he falls off the cliff, I don't even remember what happens after that. I just remember when we fell off the cliff. Even as a child, I was like, "That's a mannequin in a wheelchair."
There you
There
go.
we go. You haven't seen this
Yeah, I remember this movie. Yeah.
or this part?
Oh, there's the
The
alien.
green screen.
Oh,
Classic.
man. It's so great.
Wow.
State of the art.
State
McDonald's.
of the art cinematography there, boys.
It's like once you think it's over, it's like, oh, that was funny, and then the green screen like pop up.
You know what's so crazy too is the way technology has grown in movies in the last 10 years, just in the last 10 years, has been like exponentially huge growth wise. So like this like production is kind of almost like a YouTuber could probably do this.
Oh, completely.
Right?
My kids could probably do this.
Right?
But I know a lot of people like say, like we said this during the Mortal Kombat Journey Begins conversation. People are like, oh, at the time, that's all the technology was. But then like the same year, like Toy Story came out, you know? So like right around this time, maybe even earlier, there was like a horror movie that came out, and like there was a scene where a little girl's like running up the stairs. It's in slow motion. And then she reaches up for the medicine cabinet that's like a mirror. But then you realize the whole shot was in the mirror. And you're like, how the F did they do that? And then they show later that it was a combination of like a clever shot and a green screen and then like match cutting and stuff. It was like,
wow.
so it was there. This was just their level of effort for this movie, you know? Like,
They're like, well, we don't have money for other things, so
also the
We gotta
star,
have that giant McDonald's shot in the middle. That's all we can
the
pay
star
for.
of this movie is a Big Mac. Also, we want all the kids to get diabetes from Coca-Cola. So
Drunk on kids so you can look like these aliens.
how do we get talking about Mac and Me?
I don't remember.
that was great though.
Oh, remember Mac and Me? Remember?
Remember?
I remember.
I remember. Let's go to our page. Let's go.
Oh yeah, we were looking at. I remember
Oh,
we were
yeah.
we were looking at the trailer for The Boys,
Oh, yeah.
which is like a demented Justice League, I guess.
Man, this looks crazy, y'all.
Yeah, holy crap, because I think we just talked about it too. Like, I didn't see this trailer that we just watched.
I didn't see this one.
Or like the girl was like, they were like sitting on the guy's face, obviously, and then all of a sudden blows his face up or something. I don't know.
Cool, because like didn't it start with him being like the size of Ant-Man? He like ran inside her, and then he like grew or something.
I don't know.
I was like, that is pretty wild. But it also looks way better than Justice League.
It's not hard.
Maybe that was the goal. They were like, listen,
Yeah,
give us
so
an Amazon budget.
if you haven't seen the Boys trailer, it's a Amazon Prime original.
So that means it's going to be in Amazon or in theaters? Some Amazon stuff is in theaters.
I think most of these ones that are coming out as movies do get like soft openings at theaters.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been to a few Netflix soft opening, or
those Netflix
premieres
things
actually.
Those Netflix things, the premieres are in the theaters, but the show is only on Netflix. I
Right.
think there's some Amazon stuff that's actually like you can go see it in theaters.
I would assume so. Yeah, like they would have, like you were saying, some sort of.
This looks even more demented than I thought it was going to be. Though. Like the first trailer, I was like, "Oh, it's funny." He has the baby with the laser eyes.
Yeah.
A little bit like
Jack.
Jack. Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, just mowing people down with it." And I was like, "Oh, that's going to be funny." And then like the tiny dude jumping into the girl and the dude blowing up.
There's some
It's like, oh gosh,
some crazy stuff in this, ladies and
I might
gentlemen.
vomit if I see that again. I don't know.
I don't know. I want to see it more.
I was already interested from the first scene that they showed us with like that Captain America lookalike.
And then who's the guy that was I forget the bad guy's name in Superman.
Which one?
The main alien.
Zod?
Zod. Isn't he Zod?
Which one?
In the recent ones, the one in the corner here?
I don't know.
I think he was Zod in the
I know this is Carl Urban.
Yeah.
He was in Thor Ragnarok and a bunch of great stuff. I love that
I think
dude.
this guy next to him, though, I think he was Zod in one of the recent Superman movies.
Okay.
Once again, if I'm wrong,
Yeah,
correct.
he looks like the guy. I'm not sure if that's him or not. I
Gotcha.
feel like Zod looks old as an older person than that, but I don't know. I think that Carl Urban would have been a great Wolverine had we not already chose him to be.
An Asgardian.
Yeah, gosh, I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, he was like the sellout.
Yeah, he's kind of a bad guy most of the time. I can't remember his name.
He's like whoever's going to pay him at the time.
Yeah.
I think we're not going to kill him. But then he kind of turned good, right? Towards the
Yeah,
end,
I
'cause
guess
got a
he
conscience.
stood up for Asgard. It makes me think of like Exterminator or something.
Sideswapper.
Sideswapper should be his name. No, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that's cool.
Tell us his name in the comments.
I didn't recognize I didn't recognize him like with hair. Like he was bald and Ragnarok.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we're looking at this, whatever this art is for the boys.
It looks like it's going to be good. I mean, I don't know. It looks like it's also going to be very graphic and whatnot. But
I just saw somebody's head get blown off or decapitated or something, so I'm down. AMC Preacher. See, what is that?
Preacher's another TV show Seth Rogen was on.
Seth Rogen's the producer of this, right?
Yeah, and
Of The
Preacher
Boys?
too.
Yeah.
And Preacher.
And Evan Goldberg, his buddy. I think so. Once again, I think I might be wrong, but I think this is the case. Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen are the writing team for a lot of Seth Rogen's material.
Okay.
And the two of them wrote Superbad, and so the two characters you see in Superbad are supposed to be the representations of younger Evan and Seth.
Oh,
so like
jeez.
Jonah Hill is Seth, and Michael Cera is Evan. It was about them as kids and all the shit they got into.
That's awesome.
So the two of them, so Evan always kind of stayed off camera for the most part, and Seth was like the star, but they write all their, most of their comedy together, you know?
I've never actually seen Superbad, which is
Oh,
kind
it's
of
so
weird.
good.
It's
so bad. It's good.
It's not, no,
I've seen clips. It looks
not
funny.
bad. It's not a bad.
I think
movie.
it's pretty like accurate for like being that age with your friends because it's right before. I don't know where this takes place. I don't know if it's California or somewhere else, but it's like right before that age, at least like in the Midwest, where like boys are worried about like being called homo or something, you know. Like so they'll have a sleepover and then they're straight, but because they're both after these girls and stuff, but they'll just like act really cute around each other because they're like best friends. So like they'll boop each other good night and stuff just because they're like oh, I really appreciate you, man, because they spent this like wild night, you know, trying to do all this crazy like steal booze to take to a party and stuff, and then they're like just settling down like I can't believe we got through that. It's like yep, boop, like it's just adorable because it's like not that specific thing, but stuff like that. I remember like having sleepovers. Like I'm not going to say anything outside this room, but I really appreciate you. You know, like, it was really cool. And then like I think the opening scene, one of the opening scenes, they talk about like the best ways to hide a boner and stuff. I'm like, that's high school, you know. Like, and I think Jonah Hill's character is like, you know, I tuck it in my belt, and so like,
Ouch.
I did the old tuck in the belt one
and then,
time.
because
I always do the Roseanne where the Dan was all like, just put a book in front of it. Just put a book. And then Roseanne's like, no, we got to talk to him more. So she tried to explain like about her like first period or whatever while it was at a dance or whatever. And he's like, little kid's running away. The dad's like, what's the matter? Mom's telling me about her first period.
you remember Bubble Boy?
As you were.
Do you remember Bubble Boy?
I've never saw Bubble Boy.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Such a great movie.
It looks so awful.
It's so good.
It
It's
looks so
wild.
bad.
If you like those weird, like last week, was it last week or this week? Last week we were talking about not Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer, and how it's like this weird like parody thing. You know, like the kid gets killed by the graduation cap and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of how Bubble Boy was. It's like so ridiculous. It's like a cartoon but with live action characters. And so, like, there's a scene where Jake Gyllenhaal's character, the Bubble Boy, like he wakes up.
That's Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then
now I think I need to see it.
That's where I discovered Blink-182. It's like, so that's they say this is growing up. Like that was like the key scene.
You would have discovered Blink-182 in any
right.
movie from like 95 to 2002.
But I remember being in the theater seeing that song happen, and then there was like the scene where he wakes up. And since he's been sheltered his whole life, he doesn't know what a boner is. So he wakes up and he has it. He's like, Mom!
Oh,
and you see
no.
this shot from like his toes. So you just see like Jake Gyllenhaal's face and this like hump from his face. He's like, what is it? What is it? And then Susie Kurtz is his mom. Swoozie Kurtz. And she's hilarious. And she's just like the overly religious, like conservative mom. She's like, oh dear, oh dear. It's like, just do what I tell your father to do, which is a hilarious statement. She's like, just say the Pledge of Allegiance over and over again until it goes away. And she's like, say it. And she's like, I pledge allegiance, I pledge allegiance, I pledge allegiance. And he just keeps saying it, and eventually you see it go down. She's like, thanks, Mom. He's like, I'm always taking care of my baby. We're like, what is happening? There's scenes where like something like falls and breaks, and she reaches off screen and gets a dustbuster from thin air. She's like, and we're like, where did that come from? Like, I love the movie
Like
so much.
Spider-Man in the webs. Like,
Yeah.
wait, how's he going to hang on that?
And there's like Danny Trejo is like my favorite role ever.
Oh, yeah. I think you told me about this.
Yeah,
Where he's like the old lover or something. Right?
yeah. So like he has these tattoos that in real life I think it was like his wife and his daughters or something. they didn't want to go through the trouble of covering them up, so he sharpied like X's through them. And in the movie, they're like, "That was my first X. This is my second X." So third, it's just a funny scene. And then there's like a slightly racist but kind of funny and accurate scene where he goes to Chinatown and he's trying to win money, and like this like Chinese guy running like a mud wrestling thing. He's like, "Do you want to win $500?" And like Jake Gyllenhaal's like, "Yes, I would like $500." He's like, $500. Like, "Yeah, I would like $500. $500. Like, $500. I would like to win $500." And they're just yelling at each other in like thick Asian accent, and it's so funny. And then of course he wins because he's in a giant bubble with a bunch of girls in oil and mud and stuff. So he wins $500. Minor spoiler, but
That's
also the movie's
funny.
like 20 years old. So.
So sorry for spoiling that gem.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorite old school movies. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal. You have to see it. It's really funny. It features Blink-182 and it's Jake Gyllenhaal and Swoozie Kurtz and Danny Trejo.
That's weird because I only remember him as like when he was younger as that was October Sky.
Oh yeah,
It's
or like
oh,
Donnie
it's a
Darko.
sad kid that wants to be an astronaut.
I don't think I actually ever saw October Sky,
I don't
was
think
really
saw
good,
that
but I
either.
remember that being a huge thing. Did you ever see Donnie Darko?
I never saw Donnie Darko.
I
It was
didn't
one
know
of my
he was
friends.
in Donnie Darko.
He's the main.
He's the main
guy.
character.
Yeah, I didn't even put that together.
I've always wanted to see it, but like, yeah, it's one of those ones where you're like, "Hey, want to watch this?" And everybody's like, "No."
So
I mean, it's a
watch the
crazy movie.
Watch the director's cut because that actually Nick, our friend from college, like he's the one who showed it to me when we were in college, and he's like, "Watch the director's cut because the other one doesn't make any sense." The director's cut has title cards between scenes that are the only way you have any context of what's going on.
Oh, weird.
So they're like the next section because you're like, when did this happen? Because the whole thing is about like time crossing over each other and stuff, and like it doesn't give everything to you, but the title cards like give you a hint of like the frame of mind at least.
Yeah.
And you still might be confused, but he had a better shot because the original movie he just had like no
Yeah,
point of reference.
that's what I saw.
Someone going to the theater is like, "What?"
Yeah. Oh.
That's like my friends took me to go see Fight Club, and they'd already seen it. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna see Fight Club again. You want to see it?" And I was like, "Oh, I've never seen it." Like, "Oh, that's amazing. Like, well, what's it about?" "Oh, they're like they start a fight club and they fight."
It's about
All
Delaware.
right, sure, yeah. And I go there. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, that movie was nuts.
Actually, you know what's funny? I remember the first rated R movie that my friend snuck me into was Replacement Killers. So was that one of the first for you, like
No.
the Fight Club thing?
The first horror movie that I snuck into, I actually got caught like in trouble for, was the worst movie on earth. It was like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, but it was like with Dennis Rodman.
That already sounds intriguing and very.
I
80s.
remember that.
It was awful.
Was it like Bloodsport or something? Or?
No, Bloodsport's great.
What was Dennis Rodman in with John Claude?
It was like when he was getting big and gosh, what is it called? Double Team, maybe is what it might be.
Yeah,
It
'cause,
was an
that's
awful
when
movie.
Dennis Rodman was in a few kung fu movies.
And he was like, I think he was like a weapons expert or something, and so like he helps out Jean-Claude Van Damme's character.
Double Team. And it's funny because when you look up Dennis Rodman, it says most known for Double Team.
Yeah. And the worst part of the movie though is like they're jumping out of this plane for some who knows what reason, and like Dennis Rodman's like, "I got this plan," and like, wait a minute, you didn't discuss the plan before you jumped out of the plane. But anyway, they jump out and he's like, "Come here," and he undoes this like chute, and it instead of being a parachute, it turns into a giant basketball.
Nice.
And it's funny because they zoom out and they like lightly like bounce on the ground. It's like, no way, that would not happen, and you would not be inside of an air basketball. Not like when it hits the ground, you inside not hit the ground. Then also,
I remember that.
Yeah. It's like Looney Tunes, the movie.
it was like Looney Tunes the movie.
What was some of the other ones that are like that? I can't remember.
Or what do you remember what the first like rated R movie was that you snuck into?
No, I don't remember. I've been sitting here trying to think about that, and I don't think I remember.
I got in trouble. My mom's like, "Someone saw you at the movie." I was like, "Oh, what? No." And I can't remember what movie we said we're gonna watch. She's like, "No, the rated R movie you saw." And I was like, "Oh."
I remember there was like a Monica Buccini. Is that her name? The girl from The Matrix. She's also, is it Monica? She was not in the Matrix 2.
I was gonna say it's not Trinity.
Monica Bellucci.
Bellucci. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, she was Persephone.
So there was
Never
a
forget Persephone.
there was a movie where she's like there's this little boy. I forget. It was like in Italy. It might have been in Italy, based in Italy.
She's about as Italian as it gets.
Oh yeah, and she was that. I forget. I didn't see that in the theaters though, but I remember that was like one of the like movies I wasn't supposed to watch, and I totally watched it.
You know, the 90s and early 2000s was a really confusing time for me with Monica Bellucci specifically, because she was in the Matrix sequels the same time she was in Passion of the Christ. So I think she was Mary Magdalene. So it was like this like weird thing, because I just seen her in Matrix, one of the Matrix movies. I think it was Matrix, the second one. And she says to the Merovingian, like, and they're supposed to be married in this movie. And he like walks out with his men, and he's like, why would you do this? And she's like, because you still have her lipstick on. And he's like, I have no lipstick on. She's like, it's not on your mouth. And I was like, that's the sexiest, dirtiest thing I've heard in a long time in a mainstream movie. And then the next weekend we go see Passion of the Christ, and she's like, Jesus. And I'm like, I'm so conflicted about all my feelings right now. Like, what in the world?
I got to figure out what it was. One of her like first movies too.
But yeah, she was everywhere at that time. I wonder what she's up to now. Anyway, The Boys.
The Boys.
So the trailer we saw at the movie theater, I think more focused on the Aquaman character. Like, and he's not Aquaman. I don't know what they're going to call him, but he was like that. Basically.
Fish boy.
Something. And that, like, I was already like, hey, that seems fun. It seems like a lower budget Aquaman, but a better story from that section they showed us. But now we saw like this kind of like Wonder Woman-esque character.
Yeah.
So it looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks done like it's done really well. I mean, it looks like a real movie, like not like a TV show.
Melina. 2000.
There you go. That's about the same time. So, like, I think this seems kind of like a cross of like Justice League, like Watchmen, and then some parody thing.
I'm going to tell you right now that all the footage in there looks better than anything in Justice League.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like this whole like thing, like you can tell that they're all parodies of like Justice League characters. But then like it has that, because one of the guys actually looks like Ozymandias. Like in it, I mean, it's probably not him, but like it has that Watchmen air, but like not serious. Oh, it's serious. The action is serious, but the whole thing is like so. It's like the Expendables. Maybe that's the best thing. It's like the Expendables. They play it straight, but you're laughing the whole time because you're like, there's so many meatheads on screen right now.
So many amazing
Meatheads.
shoot 'em up movies. Jeez, I used to love those too.
I still love Shoot 'Em Up is one of my favorite movies, because actually I think Monica was in that as well, wasn't she?
In
Shoot 'Em Up with what's his face? I can't remember his name.
I know who you're thinking.
He was even in like Children of Men.
That like
Yeah.
IMDb.
Yeah, shoot him up.
Shoot 'Em Up was Clive Owen. Yeah, no,
there
it
you
was
go.
Monica Bellucci. That was another thing. So and then I see her in Passion of the Christ, and then I go see Shoot 'Em Up, and there's a scene that embodies all of testosterone and like a little bit of toxic masculinity, where like they're having sex, and then like they get bombarded by a bunch of like henchmen, and so instead of stopping the sex because she's getting ready to climax, he's able to roll around, keep her pleasured while shooting all the other henchmen.
Bad guys, yeah.
Have you seen this movie?
No.
Are you going to see this movie?
No.
Okay, so it climaxes not that scene, but later on.
Not her,
like-
but the
yeah,
scene.
well, no, she does too, because the whole thing is like he kills all the guys, and she's like, yes, and it's like that is like every like straight teenage boys like.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just
You know,
a boy thing. Like,
but that's why I was like, it's like all this testosterone and this like dash of like toxic masculinity, like it. But then like at the end, so the whole thing is he's like the world's best like marksman, kind of like he can shoot anything.
Okay.
So the bad guy like breaks his finger so he can't shoot. I'm not even making this up, and it's not a parody. They play it straight. He's like with the bad guy, like sitting in front of a fireplace. His fingers are broken so he can't shoot, and they're like, "What are you gonna do now?" And he like he takes his palms and like unravels like the barrel of the gun, and like empties the bullets out, and he wedges the bullets, maybe with his teeth or something, between his fingers and sticks his hand in the
broken
fireplace and sets the bullets off with the fire and starts aiming at the people in the room.
It's
like choo,
nuts.
choo, 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 and like it shoots them all dead, and he's like,
And
yeah.
then the carrot.
What's that?
It's the carrot. He's
The
always,
very first scene.
Yeah. He's
Like-
always like he always has a carrot.
And that's the logic of the whole movie, is how he can shoot so well is because he eats carrots and it helps his eyesight. So the whole movie he's like eating carrots, and they're like, how do you shoot so well? He's like, carrots, good for your eyes. And at the very like one of the first fights, like someone makes fun of him for eating carrots, so he just sticks the carrot through his head, through his eyes, like kills him with it. I'm like,
it's freaking crazy.
That reminds me
movie
of like the
is amazing.
ridiculousness of like the Daredevil movie with Colin Farrell as like
oh yeah, the bullseye.
Bullseye. Yeah,
What was that other movie that was like a shoot 'em up movie? Oh, Smoking Bear? No,
Smoking Aces.
Smoking Aces.
With
I
Alicia-
never saw that. I
with
wanted to see
Alicia
that.
Keys.
Yeah,
Did they make a sequel to that too?
Yeah. The second one is like not very good, but it's a good like it came on TBS on Sunday afternoons. You know,
I'd watch it.
Yeah. Guys, if you haven't noticed, this is just like a nostalgia dive right
Yeah,
here.
I don't think we have any kind of idea what we want. I wanted to maybe, I haven't dove into it yet, but I wanted to maybe see what this whole animated Gremlins was going to be about.
I think Andre the Black Nerd talked about this a little bit because he's a huge Gremlins fan.
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
know. I don't know a whole lot about the Gremlins besides like the mainstream stuff.
Well, it's just the 2 movies.
The Secret of the Mogwai. Okay.
So this series, so Warner's going to get their own streaming service. Or
Yeah, they've
do
been
they have
talking
one?
about having it. In fact, they've even been. There's been some rumble about like rolling the DC stuff into the Warner streaming service to kind of save some of that stuff.
What was it? Gizmo. Yeah.
Yeah, blah blah blah.
Adult-oriented audience takes place in Shanghai during the 20th century.
Ooh, Shanghai.
Oh, and it's about Gizmo.
Yeah,
How he acquired Gizmo.
that's animated, right?
Yeah.
That's weird
Oh yeah, animated series.
for adults.
That's kind of cool. I love animated anything.
Yeah.
Robot Chicken. What?
Will be executive produced by somebody.
Oh, Robot Chicken's
Say
Brandon Hay.
Yeah.
The series
Oh,
doesn't
gotcha. Robot Chicken's Brandon Hay. Yeah.
currently have a release date. Wow, that's just cool. So Secret of the Mogwai is the largest Gremlins announcement to come from Warner.
This year.
So
Wait,
that's
they
cool.
said this year.
I wish they would make it a TV show. I mean, like an actual like maybe not Stranger Things, because like I love that, especially the first movie so much, because when nowadays dark humor is just like all over the place, but like back then that was a weird movie,
Yeah.
like because it was not like horror, but it wasn't like just a fun action movie either.
It wasn't like a noir film either. It was
Oh,
just,
no.
it was
No,
just,
not.
it was just like thriller.
No, it was a slasher, like kind of like
It
like
wasn't
horror
even
slasher.
slash though.
Like,
I mean, like,
It was high intensity, definitely.
The thing that was weird about it was that there was other movies like it, but there was not very many movies or none that reached mainstream like that did. Because there was a Ghoulies that came out that we didn't even know existed until last Halloween.
Now we know all about Ghoulies.
But like
even
it was
Ghoulies is
it was similar on like the creature feature thing, but in Ghoulies didn't hit the mainstream like
no,
Gremlins did. And Gremlins like
looked a lot.
weren't there
better,
like
too.
17 Gremlin movies or something? Like how many Gremlins movies
there's
were
only
there?
2 Gremlins movies.
Really?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
only
I feel
only
like
two.
there was a
of them.
lot.
No.
There's only 2 of them.
And it was weird because they both did really well. People seem to
Mandela
like them.
Effect.
Yeah. No, there's maybe are you thinking of Critters?
I don't know.
Because Critters is along the same lines, but like
Or Trolls.
it's got that funny death like troll like the
It was like Trolls 8.
what's the thing in space? Is it Troll? It had the I can't remember his name.
Although I also feel like wasn't there also a Gizmo cartoon show?
yeah.
They get cartoon shows for everything.
I definitely
totally
remember that.
that.
but for some reason, I remember there being more Gremlins movies, or maybe there was just so many reruns. I just counted in my head as like different Gremlins movies. That's
Yeah,
wild.
just 2 movies. There was no TV shows or anything besides. I guess there could have been a cartoon.
I remember a cartoon.
but
Yeah, look that up.
I love. I mean, like I love that movie so much. I don't know if I want an animated movie of it though. Especially,
I would take an animated series.
it's got to be really dark and funny. Because I mean, I don't think anybody. The only people that die in the first movie are the ones that die by like accidents that the Gremlins have caused.
Yeah.
So like
They
one
like push a pot off a thing and it kills the person.
Not even that. Like most of the time, most of it was like silly stuff. The old ladies have like the stair lift things where like they sit in the chair and it moves up the
Yeah.
stairs.
Yeah.
They like reprogrammed the chair thing somehow to just like do real fast, and so it shot her out a window. And she was like and it's funny because like in this dark humor too, it's like they kind of kill the people that you want to be killed anyway. So like the crazy cranky old lady is like, "Arr," and they come and they show up at her doorstep
Yeah.
in because it's Christmas. By the way, this is like a Christmas movie. I'm
There
bugged.
was a lot of Christmas.
Every year we
Gremlins
do like
stuff.
a Christmas thing at church for the kids, and I'm like, and they do it over to a movie theme, and I'm like, we gotta do Gremlins, John. And he is every year he shoots it down. But they come to the door, and it's like them singing Christmas carols, like wrapped in like obvious like Christmas outfits.
Oh, yeah,
and the
yeah.
lady like freaks out.
So funny.
It's
Looks
such
like
a
there's
great
some
movie.
footage
Maybe
somewhere.
Maybe there
of
was
this.
just like a bunch of commercials or
this?
something featuring the Gremlins.
Not yet. This is not out yet.
No, yeah, I don't. I think they're just in pre-production.
Yeah, this is just some stupid video this website put up.
I'm willing to give it a shot because I'm all about like experimentation in like media and stuff because I'm just tired of seeing like the same formulas over again.
Yeah.
So this might be a huge car wreck, but like
Yeah.
maybe it'll be awesome. We
I
don't
just,
know.
I
you
don't
know,
see it as a car wreck. I'd imagine it just
it's kind of
probably
like,
all right.
well, if they do it like they did Chucky,
I haven't seen Chucky yet, so I don't know.
I've heard some not so good things and some
Yeah.
good things, but like this is one of those properties where they only, you know, there was only a little bit of the stuff out there, so this would be a good time to like jump back on and put out some more content around the
Yeah.
Gremlins.
The second movie is actually even funnier than the first one.
Yeah.
The second movie is even far further out there. So
I'm wondering how long it's going to take for one of these like retro movies, like Gremlins or something, that was clearly like based in practical special effects to just go for it. Like Gremlins 3, all practicals, you know, like just because that would be the main draw of it. You know?
that makes sense. I'd totally watch it. In fact, and when we talk about those things, like they talk about like, hey, we're using only practical effects for these movies. I'm like, I'm 100% in just because.
yeah.
Because like I'm sick of like, even though computer animated stuff still it's starting to look amazing, and there's so many like, you know, I watched some of that, was it Collider or whatever, where they have the
studios.
guys talk about like, you know, hey, look, this is bad CGI because or whatever, but the newer stuff looks better, but it's still like your eyes, even though it's like maybe a bad practical effect, it's still for some odd reason you accept it more.
Yeah.
Easier.
I think the
You know?
perfect like middle ground is like a good balance of both.
Yeah, maybe.
There was some show, it was like Mission Impossible or something, like the movies. Like they have like this decent balance of practical and like some augmented stuff. But like it's funny, on the Collider Studios, they just put an episode out today where he had a stuntman react. I think he did all the stunt choreography for Punisher season 2. And so he actually brought like the previs footage and compared it next to the scenes. But one of the first things they watched was that Mission Impossible, the latest movies, like fight scene in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to tell you a bunch of stuff that you're never going to unsee. If you don't want fight scenes spoiled for you, don't watch this, because it spoiled that fight scene forever for me. Like he's like, this whole bathroom is made of foam, and it's polished to look porcelain. And there's a part of the scene where like there's the urinals. You know, there's like that little step on the urinals. Tom Cruise like lands, and he kneels for like a frame on the thing, and you can see it cushioned down.
Fuck.
And he gets up, and they're like, but this is a great scene because there's no waiting. And so like the gold scene is when what's his name?
Cavill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Henry Cavill reloads his arms. You see him go.
He's like,
And he's like, you might as well just put like shotgun noise. Like he's like, that's classic. Whoever thought of that?
and then that punch he threw.
Yeah, it's like you feel it, you know. Then he was like, let's contrast, and this is something I will agree with him. Even though I liked Last Jedi, he had that scene where spoiler if you haven't seen the last 2 years. Who's the Snoke? Yeah, when
Yeah.
Snoke dies, that scene, and there's all the fighters around him and stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, whoever choreographed this didn't think about it at all, or the two main leads like should have had like stunt doubles do their thing, because he pointed out how all the fighters were waiting for the main two actors to act before they reacted.
Yeah.
So he's like, these three are just standing there spinning in circles until they get to them and stuff. And the whole scene, it keeps happening. No one attacks them. And then she kicks one soldier away and four of them flay out, you
Yeah.
know, stuff. And he was like, then you take it to the Mission Impossible thing.
Smack myself with the microphone.
You take that the Mission Impossible thing, and there's no waiting. Everyone's like, pow, pow, pow,
Yeah.
pow. And it was two guys that were main actors, like Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise. And then the third guy is like a professional stunt guy. So you could tell like he was like the lead in the tango.
Yeah.
And then the other two were really good at following. And they're like, how did he do that? Not break his rib? And they were like, well, he's padded like 3 times there. Like that windowsill is made of like foam. It's crazy.
Wow.
But so that was interesting to see them do like kind of a practical effects.
Yes. I'd love to
Breakdown.
watch that. Yeah. That Last Jedi scene always kind of bothered me because there's actually like some dude, if you watch it, like I don't know if there's two. I think that there's at least one that like when they're swinging back and forth, this guy just like falls over, like nothing hits him or whatever.
Yeah.
He just falls, and you're like, what's going on?
It's
This
also
is
partially-
the only lightsaber fight in this movie, and you effed it. Oh,
There's also partially like the editors, like falls or directors, whoever made that call, because it was like, I mean, you have power in editing, right? Just cut to something else.
just real quick.
Because even
or a different angle.
the guy in the Mission Impossible thing, he pointed out all the times that the punches missed
Yeah.
in the scene. He's like, but you didn't register until I pointed it out because I'm a professional, because they angled it right and they put sound effects and they cut it. So like as soon as he missed the thing, the second that happened, they flipped to like another angle and stuff. So I don't know why they didn't do that with Last Jedi.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes that I would hate if anyone ever spoiled for me would be like the scene with in Winter Soldier when he's doing like hand to hand against Winter Soldier before he knows it's Bucky. He's got the black part of the mask on, and he's like they flip the knife around and they're fighting back and forth like just using hands.
Yeah.
Like that scene for me is just really really tight, even though it's kind of really fast.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd be so sad.
Most
if
of the
they're
Marvel fight choreography that doesn't have to do with Iron Fist is really good.
like, Iron.
Well, Iron Fist and then like Sigourney Weaver's fight scenes,
Yes.
they're like from a whole different property. It's like they borrowed from DC or something.
Honestly, the new Spider-Man Far From Home,
Oh, it's great.
God.
that scene at the end where he defeats Mysterio, that's the best like fight choreography. Even though like half of it was CG,
Yeah.
but like it still looked amazing.
That's part of like, well, I think all of it was CG.
might
Like,
have
but that's
been
what's so
all of
impressive
it,
about
yeah.
it is they made it so believable. Because that was something else I watched. Arturo from A to Z show / like Let Me Explain, and he was like, let's try not to ignore that like CG artists are like as an art in itself, And it's like, yes, when there's the budget and like skilled artists, because sometimes you could tell like watching the Collider stuff, they're like, well, they just ran out of budget. We're going to assume they're talented artists, but they needed another month.
Of
and then,
rendering
and like 20 more artists because they have to rotoscope every frame or something.
Yep.
So it's like but when it's done really well and you can't tell or you buy the illusion, and like that's the pinnacle of CG. It's like the difference between like really good practical special effects and like bad special effects
Yeah.
and stuff, because it makes you feel something. And that
yeah, brought to you by
What
Gatorade.
is this? Where's it at? I don't even know
I
what's
think it's that video.
No, I don't think so. I think that
Not?
thing's been going the whole time.
Oh,
I don't know what's brought to us by Gatorade. Sorry,
Welcome to Yellow Spandex.
this music is too much.
This week,
I hope
I'm
this.
Vince.
I hope this is recording the
This
music.
is Josh.
I hope this is recording the music.
I was looping. It's funny. I love that thing where you're like, where's the music coming from? What tab?
Sponsored by Gatorade.
And I look down, and there's supposed to be a video somewhere. Somebody who coded that page is messed up. The video's just going off. Like,
So
where's
good.
I don't know what's sponsored by Gatorade right now. I'm missing out.
Well,
But yeah, with the Gremlins thing, I don't know why they just don't try it. Like, use that as the gimmick, because every movie needs a marketing angle gimmick. Just be like fully or nearly fully practical special effects returns of Gremlins.
I would
Do
love
it.
a Gizmo duck. Gizmo duck.
I'd love Gizmo Duck.
I would love a Gizmo duck action
Like
figure.
Gizmo
actually.
meets Gizmo Duck.
Yeah.
Ari has Gizmo as a doll.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, a Gizmo, a little Mugwai Gizmo, that'd be freaking awesome.
You know what would be really perfect is like a plushy Gizmo that when you get him wet turns like ugly.
Turns
like,
into a gremlin.
That'd be hilarious.
Multiplies.
I mean, you could almost use those like stuffed animals that like you'd squeeze, like they look really sweet, and you squeeze them, and they're like,
yeah.
you could like turn those into them.
That's funny. Those dolls are so funny to me.
So I actually I don't know much more about Gremlins besides like don't feed them after midnight, don't get them wet.
Don't get them wet. Yeah.
So besides that,
Sunlight kills them.
And
there you
sunlight
go.
kills them, yeah.
but I think I was young enough when those movies came out. I just saw them like on reruns on TV. Apparently, I thought there were more of them. So
I felt the same
know.
way. I watched, and it's funny because I watched them on TV. Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like, and obviously a million scenes was cut out of it because
Yeah.
half that movie like there's just naked women running around, or like they'd put like a video camera in the women's dorm or whatever.
Yeah, those don't age well in the PC culture.
No,
No.
wow.
I loved that movie though. It was like
There was a cartoon show of Revenge of the Nerds too.
No, there can't be a.
I think there was.
Oh, I
remember
want to
seeing
see
that.
this.
Booger.
I gotta look it up.
Yeah.
remember Booger was one of the
Ogre.
guys.
Yeah.
An ogre.
Yep.
I remember Booger and Ogre were in the bathroom, and I think they were both peeing in the urinal.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh my gosh, there's a Revenge of the Nerd. How on earth did that get
Oh, yeah.
past
You?
parents? Remember, like parents in the
don't-
80s were nuts.
I don't
dude.
remember when this was though either. This might have been like fairly recent.
Okay, never mind.
I think it was fairly recent.
It's Robot Chicken. Revenge of the Nerds cartoons and comics.
Every time my dad would burp really loud, he would yell out "Nerds," like Ogre.
Like Ogre does. No, that's.
And then, like, remember when
different.
Booger like beats Ogre
I
in a
don't see.
farting contest or something?
I don't see. Like.
There's a
Burping
lot of
contest.
Mandela affecting happening for me today.
Yeah. I don't
see.
think that. That movie is so raunchy, man. I mean, like, it's not just like Police Academy. Police Academy is actually only has like one small part ever that was like really raunchy, and the rest of it actually is like okay to watch on TV.
Right. It was fun.
Like that movie, straight up, they put a video camera in the girls' dorms just to watch them undress and have sex.
it was like Porky's. Remember Porky's?
Yeah.
Like the dude stuck his wang
Yes,
into the
whole
girl's
movie
bathroom.
was part of it. Yeah, whenever they redo the front cover of that thing, it's always like the hole in the wall.
Yeah. I mean, they used to just do it. They used to go
Well, it was
out.
like 70s. They were just like, well, we could do this right. Oh, we'll just lay it R right. Oh, let's do it. You know. Did you ever watch Highlander, like the movies?
I did.
I love Highlander. I love the first one.
Duncan MacLeod.
Like, and beyond the first one, I feel like they slowly degrade into like just softcore porn.
I just liked
You know what I'm talking about, though? Like,
I just remember the Queen song and Steven Seagal.
oh, that's
ever since I was
Steven Seagal. No, it's Raiden. What's his name?
Yeah, Christopher Lambert.
Christopher Lambert.
But there was
Where's Seagal in it?
Wasn't Steven Seagal the Highlander?
No, it was Christopher Lambert.
I know it's Christopher Lambert. But wasn't Steven Seagal also a Highlander?
Oh no, you're thinking the guy in the TV show.
the guy in TV shows and Steven
He was
Seagal either.
he was Duncan MacLeod, not Connor MacLeod.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know. I don't
Duncan
remember his
MacLeod.
name though.
So the reason I loved that TV show with Duncan MacLeod,
Yeah.
is his sword was a katana, and ever since I was able to know what a ninja was, I wanted to be one.
Yeah.
So like I always had all the ninja weapons, and I used to dress up as a ninja all the time. I used to play like commando Outback, like where like me and my brother would be like hiding behind a tree, and then I'd be like, "Yo, you go across under the rock, and I'm gonna meet you on the other side, and we'll assassinate these guys." And then we would like pretend to like drag dead bodies behind trees and shit. Like that's how we used to rock it. And
Okay.
I used to be like, I used to have a MacGyver book bag. That, you know, like a book bag that has like every single
Like a
survival.
canvas.
Yeah. Like it was too, yeah.
I'm so convinced I'm from a different timeline because I very clearly remembered Steven Seagal in the Highlander, and I can't find a thing about it.
You're
Like-
thinking of that one dude. I can't remember his name. You're thinking of
Duncan MacLeod?
Duncan MacLeod.
He young guy. He's a young guy.
Yeah, he's
or
young.
He was
Well,
a
much
young
younger.
guy.
In fact, he's in the fourth movie with
That's right.
I know who you're talking
Christopher
about.
Lambert.
But
Christopher Lambert. Yeah.
I even remember like jokes around Steven Seagal being Highlander, and I can't find anything about it either. So
That's crazy, dog.
that's just something else.
There
Like,
he is.
no, I know what you're talking about there, but like
when he
there-
has the hair pulled back, he does look a little bit like
What's
him.
his name?
Adrian Paul.
Okay.
But I remember like late in my Mandela affected memory, like late night shows like Jay Leno and stuff. Like he's like, oh, so Highlander, Steven Seagal. Like it was like all. I don't know. I'm not even gonna argue it. I'm just wrong in this particular sense. But for some reason, I have these very clear memories of that. So
I mean, I definitely could see a parallel where they're making jokes about Steven Seagal being Highlander.
Yeah.
But as of him being Highlander, I can't say.
Gosh, do you know that Steven Seagal had an energy drink for a while?
Yeah, it
It's
was
sold
called.
at Walmart.
I did not know that.
What was it called?
I can't remember, but I tried to buy some because for a while you
What
could
was it
only
called? Surge.
you could only buy it online. What's it? Steven Seagal's
Was it called Pimp Juice?
energy drink. Here we go. There it is.
It's called
Lightning. Bolt.
Fists of Lightning.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
It's just called Lightning.
Here, we're going to watch the
Lightning
advertisement.
bolt. Oh, here we go.
Hey there. We want to tell you about Steven Seagal's new energy drink. It's called Lightning Bolt. It's 100% natural, and it tastes just great. In fact, it's so good, he likes swimming in it.
This is not real. What the heck is
How's it going, baby?
Boss, I've got another 2,000 cans to go to fill this pool.
Man, I feel so sorry for you, but you know what? I really wanted to swim in Steven Seagal's lightning bolt with you.
Yeah, but you know I love doing it because I love you.
I love you.
You could tell these are like two separate
Lightning
places.
Bolt is a unique energy drink. It's the
Where
first
they
of its
shot.
kind. With 100% pure
He
juice
has a
blends,
guitar
it's the
amp
only
behind
energy
him.
drink to contain Tibetan goji berries and Asian
Oh,
cordyceps.
goji.
And it hits the spot every time.
Yo, this is hilarious.
Oh, baby, thank you, man.
Oh, they are together.
Thank you, darling.
Everybody just see that?
Steven,
This is an actual commercial.
got one. I found it at the bottom of the pool.
Lightning Bolt comes in two
I think this
delicious
only
flavors,
came out in, like,
Asian
Australia.
Experience and Cherry Charge.
Why are there guitar amps all around him?
Сестричка, я сейчас к тебе
It says
присоединюсь.
in Steven Seagal's bio, official bio, it says American action film star, producer, writer, martial artist, and guitarist, and sheriff.
Okay.
And
Good to be the
sheriff.
king, isn't it?
He had his own TV
what?
show, I think, on True TV.
What's happened to you?
Where's the sheriff?
If you drank Lightning Bolt.
This is too much.
Steven Seagal is a recording artist and founder of Steven Seagal Enterprises.
It was so funny though. Like I didn't know like that was gonna be a real commercial. After 2 seconds, it's like this is fake.
Yeah.
No, it's real and done by him.
Holy crap. What channel is that on?
No, what is,
Steven Seagal.
is it Steven Seagal's channel?
Is it? No, it's just slow.
It's got a check
Oh, wait.
mark.
It's got a check mark.
It's Steven Seagal's own
Holy
channel.
crap. That is crazy.
I
y'all.
love this guy.
So for y'all listening, Steven Seagal actually does have a YouTube channel. It only has like what six videos on there.
Only 17,000 subscribers.
Well, that's
We got to use
Quite-
all of our 17.
So one
quite a
of the,
lot.
add to 'em.
actually.
something that's like easing my mind just a little bit is apparently there's other people that are Mandela affected by this, and they're petitioning for Steven Seagal to make a fifth Highlander movie. So I don't feel completely alone. If you're out there, if you've seen Yesterday, then we should get together and hang out. Because have you seen Yesterday?
no.
It's like there's like only 3 people on Earth that like haven't that remember the Beatles.
Oh, so there's more than him.
Oh, there's a minor sport, kind of. I'll let
okay.
you see what happens throughout even the beginning of the movie. You see like people that are like, why is he here? Like, you know. But yeah, it's like I feel like that now because I'm googling. I'm like, why? There's other stuff that'll surprise you too. It's not just the Beatles that disappeared.
Oh, okay.
But the whole world is like it's just never existed there. And I feel the same way as him. He's like, what the? He's like every time he goes to Google something, he's like, what the? Like I'm feeling that right now. I'm like, what the?
The Mandela Effect got you.
Seriously, it's funny. I think I feel more strongly about this than any other thing that I thought like, oh, I just remembered it wrong. This like have very specific memories of that if they're not just like orchestrated confusions, like maybe I was a kid and they made a joke about Steven Seagal and Jay Leno doing the thing, you know, and that's how I cemented my memory. But
Right.
like besides that, I'm like, what? Why do I remember specifically? Like, I don't know.
That's
No.
crazy.
I'll let that
I
shit.
totally get that for other things though, to where like, what was the one with Sinbad and the
Oh yeah,
and
Shazam.
Shazam, like, but you know that you saw him, and then he's a big movie star during that time, and then Kazam came out at the same time or whatever it was, and you could switch them in your brain, like just as a kid, like especially like you don't get to see all the movies, so it's just I don't know, I could see it doing that.
Isn't there a scene that's like floating around on the internet about
Well, because
Shazam?
like College Humor did it.
Yeah, he redid it on College Humor.
as like a joke for like April Fools to put it out on the internet specifically for that. So people are like, see. He's like, oh, I made this like last year. But,
Yeah.
but there was something. Oh, Candlelight Cove is like a kids show
The television thing.
that a bunch of now adults that when they were kids remember watching it, and independent of each other, they all had accounts of it, and then they were brought together by other people who had like connected their accounts of this show that there's no record of ever existing. And so the only thing that besides like alternate universe shit, like in my head is like maybe it was one of those like local access things.
Yeah.
That when it went away, just went away.
There's lots of stuff that just got deleted, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, think of half of the Carson show is not even in existence.
And so I don't know. It'd just be wild if like you know how there's all those jokes about Chuck Norris is like, you know, you don't Google Chuck Norris Chuck Norris like
Google's you.
yeah, like or like
That's the Russian one.
you Chuck Norris Google. I don't know, something like that.
Well, there's just all those jokes like what's behind Chuck Norris's beard.
Yeah,
Another fist.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So I think with Steven Seagal, I could totally see in that like, ridiculous universe where like he just didn't want to be involved as Highlander anymore, so he erased it because he is a Highlander. You know, like
There can only be one.
it's wild though because you don't know where you don't know.
Well, he's not a sword guy. Like he's all about. I heard it on like Joe Rogan once, where like
Judo.
Is it judo? It's the one where you use the person's
Energy
against themselves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is
he's
judo.
never picked up a sword ever. I've seen him.
I'm completely like agreeing with all this. It's just it's just confusing me.
That's why Mad TV they made fun of him. Like he just breaks necks. Like,
Yeah.
that's all he does the entire time. Is
So wild.
He snaps necks, snaps bones, and he can drop you in seconds with like some sort of judo move.
The last time I encountered like a Mandela Effect thing directly, that was not this level confused, but close, was when we did the DuckTales video with NerdSync, and no one can remember if it's DuckTales, woo, or woohoo. Everybody has a different account, including the songwriters and the show.
So it was like a choir, and they all did the same thing and did what they
No,
wanted.
it's one vocal.
Okay.
Like it's one guy singing the vocal.
So you asked him before you played it.
What do you mean?
No, they're
Did
just
you not
like
figure it out by listening to it?
It's one of those things where it sounds like woo, but they argue that he was saying woo-hoo, and then the fidelity wasn't high enough to tell.
Yeah.
But then the sheet music says a different thing, and then like
lyrics are all messed up too.
are different, and then some versions he's clearly saying one for one verse and something else for another verse, so it might just be different takes.
Yeah.
But like that,
You know what it was for me? Jiffy
Jiffy, eh?
or Jiff.
yeah.
GIF.
I remember Jiffy.
I remember GIF, but
I remember both.
And then what was one of the other ones? Was the Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein.
that was the first one that really messed me up at first.
Yeah.
But I was working at a bookstore at the time, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like,
And I saw it and I was like, oh.
What's even worse is I know what the Mandela Effect is and didn't even know who the Mandela
you
was,
didn't know who Nelson Mandela was?
and then had to learn about Nelson Mandela.
So the Mandela Effect for Vince was learning history,
yeah.
current events.
I'm like, man, that was the Mandela Effect. I'm like, who the fuck is a Mandela? It's like, oh, maybe I should learn that.
but
That was a
yeah.
long time ago, by the way. Actually, it was just yesterday. But
And then the for the DuckTales thing, I think when the show came back, the reason we did the video with NerdSync, the first episode was called like Woo Hoo, and everybody's like, "What the? Like, what's going on?" We all remember it. I don't know.
I used to bust people that would like do the covers, and they would say something different. Be like, "Oh, they didn't do it."
Wrong.
Which is funny because we did that on our channel, and then we discovered in every language it's a little different.
Yeah,
Like in is it
Like
one of the,
Sweden,
one of the
it's-
Middle Eastern countries, I think it was aha, because that in their like that was the
Dialect.
the vowels that made sense for the shout choruses and stuff, and it was like
that was one of the best parts of that whole video experience was learning that there were DuckTales versions in every country, and then being able to hear them all was amazing. Like I don't even know how Scott, whoever helped him get every freaking version of that.
Did he record that stuff? I mean, he obviously didn't just print an instrumental and had somebody else do the vocals, right?
What's
No,
that?
these were they were like
what the foreign ones.
Yeah, the
Oh
foreign
yeah,
ones.
he found them because everything's on YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah.
He just like found them.
It was so cool to me to be able to, hear the different versions. It was weird, man.
You're saying like wouldn't they just send it to like someone else that does the vocals for that, like and writes it or whatever for the theme song? Because he wrote the theme song for it, right?
Who wrote?
The DuckTales song.
I don't. We didn't talk to the DuckTales theme writer for this.
Oh,
one.
you didn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is
No,
just
they
breaking
in the video
down.
they just pulled in the different versions from like the internet somewhere
Oh.
and stuff. But it was just interesting to see like the different shout choruses kind of vary depending on languages.
That's so weird.
I thought you talked to the guy.
Oh no, not that one. We
Yeah,
talked
no-
to X-Men.
Yeah,
Or the-
I thought he did both.
No, he did. So he did X-Men and Power Rangers.
And we did
We're like a year late on the Power Rangers video, but we still have the footage.
Gummy Bears and Tailspin was the other one we did.
Yeah,
I used to love
with the
Tailspin.
silver shirts. But yeah, so I guess right now I have like two like kind of mildly conflicting like Mandela Effect things with Steven Seagal and Highlander and DuckTales woohoo woo. Right now, the only ones that actually like bother me a little bit.
Not Jiffy.
No, because I remember that. But I get now I sympathize with people who are like, no, I remember like this. Like, yeah, I also remember Steven Seagal like flailing a sword around, cutting people's heads off. But like,
Oh man.
but I'm not disagreeing that I'm wrong. It's just like, holy crap. So,
Oh, hey, look, this page isn't even working.
ooh,
Mandela
it
Effect
used
is
to work
real.
there.
Exactly. It went to the other universe.
Yeah, we're looking up alt or
I don't want to click
examples.
on BuzzFeed because I hate BuzzFeed. But
Oh, you'll
like this one's. Maybe I just got no internet. How about that?
probably.
No, it's BuzzFeed.
Oh, jeez. Oscar Mayer
Oh.
or Oscar Mayer.
I've seen the.
I'm pretty positive it's this one.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
Who's right? Do we know? I can't read
Isn't
it.
it Mayer? Isn't it?
I thought it was Meyer. I mean,
Oscar Mayer Wiener.
I don't know. I can't read it.
Yeah, it's Mayer because I only remember because of the song.
M-A-Y?
Yeah, Mayer.
No way.
I just thought that the EY was the way that.
A Meyer.
The
Oh, well.
Sex and the City one I've seen
What's
on
on?
reports because it's
Sex
Sex
and
and the City.
the
but
City?
I didn't watch the. I didn't know enough of the show to begin with to know the difference.
Yeah, I mean, like I definitely understand this. Like I just didn't. It's just like someone saying espresso for their entire life,
Yeah.
and it's like no, it's espresso. Like oh, whatever.
Oh yeah, We Are the Champions is a different ending than anybody else remembers. But didn't they do it like differently live or something? Is that why the confusion happened?
I don't remember actually what that was.
Because people think that the ends like of the world, and it doesn't end like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Monopoly guy doesn't have a monocle.
I think they just get him mixed up with the
Peanut.
Planners peanut guy. Yeah.
And then this one I think messed people up.
Yeah.
Pikachu doesn't have a black end on his tail.
Yeah, for some odd reason, I would think that he probably would, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense
People
to have it.
Yeah, a lot of people draw that like that.
Yeah.
And Stain bears obviously. are
Instead of
red.
a Steen.
Which one is it?
Bernstein.
Stain.
But I remember Steen.
I remember Steen too.
I just remember probably people saying Bernstein, and it's once you see it, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, and George never had a tail.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't remember George having a tail.
So something else, especially with like something like Curious George, I'll bet when we were little, we saw a bunch of like knockoffs of Curious George.
Yeah.
That did have a tail. And that's probably imprinted in our memories because you think about now, like when a Disney movie comes out and how many dollar store versions of that movie come out.
Oh yeah.
Like there was probably, because in my head, I'm like, didn't I see Curious George like hanging upside down from a tree eating banana? Like, but that could have been like Curious Mike. I don't know.
And a man in an orange hat.
Yeah.
Is yellow people. Is that it? Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
or chick?
Yeah, it's chick like CHICK, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That just looks wrong.
Yeah, I know Luke never said.
Oh, that's the same thing with
father.
the what's the piano one? Play it again, Sam. Like he never says it.
Oh, yeah.
There's even a movie called Play It Again, Sam.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he never says it. He just says like, Sam, that song. Will you play
This
it
one
for me?
was weird that is more the CP3PO isn't all gold is more of a thing. Or like I never noticed that, but now I
Yeah.
do. Like it wasn't one of his legs is always a different color. It's like silver or something.
It's usually like something silver, yeah. Mr. Rogers' theme song opening line is different than people remember.
No, it's been
It's
removed.
beginning
Beautiful day.
to look a lot like wait,
It's a
that's
beautiful day in this neighborhood. Oh yeah, because I remember the neighborhood.
the neighbor.
Huh, interesting. So it's this neighborhood.
Dude, he sings it differently every single time.
Mona
Well, maybe not
Lisa.
differently, but I mean, he sings it every single time. So
That
he
guy
could
had
have
style.
mixed it up once or twice.
I think Mona Lisa is smiling now, but she used to be emotionless.
I think that's illusion.
Well, also they've restored it so many times. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
Smudged it up a little bit.
You ever see that Saturday Night Live of the lady that tried to restore the painting in? She didn't. She's just a nun that worked there.
I don't know.
Hold on.
She just keeps like wiping away features.
No. I gotta show this
Because
to you.
that Mona Lisa to the left looks like it's like Snapchat filtered.
Younger,
nun
yeah. She looks younger.
or painting.
Her skin looks so great.
Here it is. This
Restored, botched.
this botched painting by this amateur lady. You got to see this painting. There it is.
Oh, jeez.
Paintings.
I was gonna say like Jesus, literally.
And I can't remember who's the lady in the Ghostbusters movie, the blonde girl.
Oh, Kate McKinnon.
Yes,
she's my favorite.
She does that. The lady in this because she looks a lot like her too. Like when she dresses up.
She does this
Kate
skit.
McKinnon's in Yesterday as the record label executive. She's the best.
Yeah.
Because she's like a record exec who tells it as she believes it, you know, without apologizing for how evil she is. She's like, I only care about you as a product, and I'm going to make all the money. It's like, well, you're going to make a record. We're going to charge people a lot of money for it. I'm going to take most of it, and you're going to be okay with that. And you're like, well, at least she's upfront about it.
Exactly. She's nice.
I like her. She's honest.
Yeah.
Painting of Jesus that started out like this and was repainted like this.
I no ruin, I fix. Here, it look good.
Well, this is kind of just transformed into us watching funny YouTube videos. So sorry, guys.
We should start a Twitch show. We just do this.
You just watch. I think you could probably get away with it then, right?
I don't know.
Because
It's
if you do it on
Twitch.
YouTube, YouTube's like, heck no.
Twitch is new enough that they don't care about the law yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can give me my money.
Give me my money.
This is a little Marvel break for you guys.
So I guess I don't know. It'll be an interesting comment if there's comments on wherever you're watching this. Is to let us know like what property you want them to actually bring back, especially if it's like a practical effects thing. I would really love to see, and on top of Gremlins, I would love to see another Indiana Jones installment with just majority practical stuff like the old days, just to see how it is.
Did you ever watch
no
the
monkey
Young
shit.
Indiana Jones?
I remember that, the TV show, right? Yeah. I don't remember specific plots, but I remember the show being on when I was younger, and like I think I liked it.
It's didn't age as bad as you'd think, but it's
Okay.
not as
Well, it's like
amazing
a
as it was. You thought in
90s,
your
right?
brain. Yeah.
It was like a '90s like weekly action shows. It was probably like that.
I think it's all on Amazon Prime, so you
Oh,
can watch
sweet.
it there. But yeah,
Interesting.
they made an entire thing of young Indiana Jones.
Remember James Bond Jr.?
Yes, I remember
Cartoon.
James Bond Jr. the cartoon.
Well, I'm trying to remember
They had
what
the
was.
coolest action figures.
I want them to make an upgraded. I can't remember the name of the damn cartoon with Haji and
Oh, Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest,
Hachi. I don't think you could get away with that today.
dude.
Maybe
What was it? Family Guy that they were trying to go through like airport security. He's like Zim Ver Vim. He's like, yeah, you're gonna get randomly selected now.
Zim Zim Zalabim.
I think they
Or is it I can't remember.
I don't remember.
There's a
either.
couple ones where they're like, "You are fine." No, well, you've been randomly.
Yeah.
Me?
Johnny.
Why?
That could be fun. I feel like they kind of did that with Adult Swim.
Johnny Quest. That's like the Venture Brothers reminded me of like
that
a
style.
spoofed Johnny Quest. But I used to watch Johnny Quest every freaking morning
Weren't
or
they watching
after
it?
school or whatever.
Didn't they watch it in the Incredibles?
Oh,
Makes sense.
that'd be
I don't
cool.
remember.
I think they were watching something on
There's
TV.
so much content out there. I think my brain's just like full now.
Yeah, we want to know what your guys' favorite
Yeah.
cartoons were back in the day.
Or Mandela Effects too.
Yep, and your favorite Mandela Effect.
Does anybody else remember Steven Skull as a Highlander? This is bothering me now.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this installment of Yellow Spandex, especially the Gatorade commercial that was
Yeah,
earlier.
this is random.
Hopefully the music was in the
I hope that.
recording
If not, I'm going to find a way to record
Just
it and
add
put
it
it in
in.
there.
because that was perfect.
Just sitting here and all of a sudden. Brought to you by Gatorade.
The music just worked so well.
It's
Oh,
very
man.
fast.
All right, well, until next time, geek out. I was gonna steal their thing, but
Like what? With your cheeks out? Or
geek out and game on is what Boss Level 8 says
They
at the
used
end
to
of
say
their
at least.
thing. Yeah.
I think they gave up on that.
Now I like geek out with your cheeks out.
Yeah. He has a visual that you probably didn't want.
I envision like a half Jim Carrey and then half Bartman.
I just imagine like someone with their cheeks out,
Yeah.
like, just spread.
Well, we'll come up with a better saying. We promise.
my wife would be like, "What are you talking about?"
Fun stuff.
It's good to hang out with you nerds. We'll see you next week.
Dude.